hardest thing we find, isn't it? Like that, getting that messaging right. Like I think dog trainers really struggle with that connective piece with an audience. So we talk a lot about, we need to make sure we are connecting with people. We're looking at outcomes, and actually what we tend to find, certainly from the force-free positive reinforcement side of it, is we almost like educate to the point where it puts people off. Like, I don't even want to come in because I don't understand half the stuff you're saying.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. So when someone is struggling with their dog and they're on, their last thread, the last thing they want to know about is what desensitization is, or, any of those things. So
what do you think from your perspective is the reasoning behind why we as dog trainers tend to lean more towards that from a marketing perspective?
I think force-free dog trainers are really careful, and maybe even a little bit too careful to be ethical. Well, you can never be too careful, but they're really focused on their ethics, and they don't want to overpromise, and you obviously shouldn't be overpromising, but I think there's a fine line between giving people guarantees that you just can't guarantee, and then giving them other guarantees of like how you are going to show up in the whole situation. So that's usually the distinction I make, in that you're not guaranteeing the outcomes or results necessarily, because we're dealing with a sentient being, but we can guarantee them how we're going to show up, how we're going to support them, all of those sorts of things that we can guarantee that we are bringing to the table.
I'm so happy you've said that, because that is exactly the ethos that we have as well. It is exactly that, because you cannot guarantee. You have two people here, two sentient beings that are working together, and you can't ever guarantee those things. But I think the more you can lean in on that, your commitment, your promise, like how you will show up, how you will support them, and just make that so super clear. Because you can then never break that promise. If you've committed to do that, you'll do it. And I think that this is the difference when you're reading a website or socials or whatever from a force-free trainer. It's helping them understand. How much support do you give them on in that kind of way then? So if they're coming in with the jargony things and the typical sort of over knowledge, really, that we're targeting somebody who has a lot less knowledge, how much do you steer them? How much do you support them with that and helping them understand it a little bit more?
Yeah, totally. So we usually get like a intake form from our clients, and it often is, laying out their services, all of those sorts of things, as far as like their process, the actual training that goes into it. We take that and generally write the website to where what we think would be, appropriate for, what we can promise and whatnot. Sometimes we do get pushback because, dog trainers definitely, they have a certain thought in their mind of how, they really want to make sure that they're not overpromising, et cetera, et cetera. When that happens, I mean, ultimately they have the say at the end of the day, but as much as we can, we try to politely, push them towards like, are you sure you don't want to go, this direction? And here's why. So.
Yeah. I imagine it's difficult sometimes. We find it hard.